For 12,000 years, the Bedouin have survived where life was never meant to exist. Empires have risen and vanished into the sand. Yet, their breath still lingers beneath the sun. Jordan is a land of paradox. It is a place where silence keeps the memory of worlds the earth itself tried to forget. There are places on this planet that look as if they were never meant for us, and yet, here we are. Wadi Rum, the southern heart of Jordan, a vast red desert carved not by hands, but by wind, heat, and time itself. For 500 million years, sand and granite have collided here in a slow, silent argument between creation and erosion. The cliffs rise nearly 400 meters, sheer and impossibly smooth, like fortresses built by light. Every color seems alive: ochre, crimson, rust, shifting as the sun moves, as if the desert is repainting itself with every passing hour. The Bedouin call it the Valley of the Moon. Under the moon's silver wash, that name feels literal. The ground glows. Shadows turn blue. Even the silence seems to hum. You don't walk through Wadi Rum. You drift through it. The sand pulls at your feet like water, the wind whispers across the dunes, carrying the smell of iron and stone. On some cliffs, you can still see the petroglyphs, hunting scenes, camels, mysterious symbols etched more than 12,000 years ago. They are the earliest conversations between humans and the landscape. Still visible on the same walls, the wind continues to shape. Then, there are the 7 pillars of wisdom, a natural fortress sculpted by the quiet patience of the earth. Seven colossal columns rise shoulder to shoulder. At dawn, they shimmer like molten gold. By afternoon, they blaze into crimson fire. Look closely, and you can read the story of an ancient sea written on their skin. The delicate veins and rippling strata are remnants of the Cambrian Ocean, a world that existed nearly 500 million years ago, when this desert was once the floor of a living sea. And yet, life never stopped returning. In the shadow of these cliffs, the darkling beetle endures the 50-degree heat. It drinks from nothing, creating water from the dryness of its food, a chemist of survival. Nearby, the wild ass of Arabia moves with quiet dignity. But the spirit of Wadi Rum is most evident in the Bedouin and their camels. The Bedouins say the desert never forgets. Perhaps they're right. The ocean turned to stone, the stone to dust, and the dust learned how to breathe again. History echoes here too. Lawrence's spring still trickles from the rock, a secret vein of life known only to those who listen to the land. Lawrence of Arabia once rested here, writing of vast, echoing, godlike spaces. The desert keeps its heroes not in statues, but in sand and light. Above it all, the Burda Rock Bridge rises, a perfect arc of stone suspended 35 meters above the desert floor, connecting nothing but air and light. Locals call it the bridge between heaven and earth. Climbing toward it, you feel the silence thicken. The sound of your own breathing merges with the wind's slow chant. Paradoxes are everywhere. A place built to last forever now belongs entirely to the wind. As dusk descends, the road fades into dunes, but deep in the mountains, a secret awaits. In a desert where life should have ended, an entire city was carved into the heart of a mountain. Not built with bricks, but sculpted from living rock. They called it Petra, the rose-red city. The first glimpse is a trick of the earth itself. You enter through the Seek, a narrow canyon where walls twist and climb, blotting out the sun. The further you walk, the darker it grows, until the light suddenly explodes. Al-Khazni, the treasury. It rises like a vision that shouldn't exist. "40 meters high, chiseled entirely by hand into a wall of rose-colored sandstone. This sudden revelation feels less like arrival and more like awakening. It is not a building, it is a sculpture the size of a cathedral. Every curve of its Corinthian columns, every carved deity, was born from a single face of living rock. Step closer, and the facade transforms. At dawn, it glows pale pink. At noon, it burns crimson, and by dusk, it fades into violet shadow. Above the city, the monastery, Ad-Dir, rises from the rock like something not built, but revealed. "48 meters tall, it stands alone. No ornate carvings, no delicate friezes. Just pure geometry and strength. It feels less like architecture and more like the desert itself has decided to take human shape." A short journey north lies Little Petra, a ghostly echo of its greater twin. The smoke of ancient campfires still stains the ceilings. The air still hums with whispers of distant trade. But travel further north, and the landscape changes again. Jerash, the Pompeii of the Middle East. Hidden beneath the sand for nearly 1,000 years, an entire Roman city was rediscovered. You pass beneath the Arch of Hadrian, and time begins to misbehave. The marble road ahead, the Cardo Maximus, still bears the deep grooves left by chariot wheels 2,000 years ago. Each one is a fossil of motion. You can almost hear the clatter of iron and the roar of crowds that no longer exist. In spring, wild grass rises between the white marble, a ruin that refuses to die. In the capital, Amman, modern life wraps around ancient bones. On the highest hill, the Temple of Hercules stands broken. Only two enormous stone fingers remain, rising from the ground like the final gesture of a forgotten god. South of here lies Madaba, the city of mosaics. Inside St. George's Church, the holiest map on earth wasn't drawn on paper, but on the floor. 2 million shards of stone depict the Holy Land. The paradox is haunting. The most fragile art form ever made has outlived every kingdom it once portrayed. From Mount Nebo, where Moses once stood, the horizon stretches so far that time itself feels thin. The wind here doesn't whisper. It mourns, carrying the echo of a promise that was never fulfilled. Descend now to the lowest place on Earth, the Dead Sea, 430 meters below the rest of the planet. The water is so dense with salt that gravity itself seems to give up. You cannot sink even if you try. It is a landscape of beautiful despair. Salt pillars rise like sculptures, and the sea shrinks every year. But nearby, the earth boils. At Mayan hot springs, mineral-rich waterfalls crash down at 60 degrees Celsius. Steam curls through the canyon like the breath of something ancient. The Romans came here to heal. Even now, the scent of sulfur lingers, sharp and holy. A reminder that sometimes healing must come through fire. Where the desert turns to the river, silence roars. Wadi Mujib, the Grand Canyon of Jordan. From the rim, it looks like a wound in the earth, but inside, it is a world of water and echoes. In a land ruled by desert, water is a rebellion. Head south, and the desert opens to an impossible horizon, Aqaba. Here, the dry sand guards one of Earth's most vibrant marine ecosystems. The Red Sea sparkles with crystal clarity. Coral gardens bloom in vibrant hues, untainted and preserved. The irony is perfect. A desert nation that guards an entire sea of life. Deep in the eastern desert, Qusir Amra sits in silence. It looks like a fortress, but inside, it is a palace of art. Frescoes of hunting, music, and constellations cover the walls, a miniature observatory of the imagination. Further south, stone becomes power at Karak Castle. Dark, damp corridors hide the memories of the Crusades. The fortress once built for battle now stands silent. its beauty lying in what has fallen, rather than what remains. But it is in Dana where the desert learns to be green. The Biosphere Reserve is a place where the terrain changes abruptly. Valleys filled with vegetation disappear into arid rock. The light shifts from pale gold to burnt orange. Making the landscape look as if it is on fire in silence. Finally, on a hilltop in the north, lies Qais, ancient Gadara. Here, the stone is not rose nor gold. It is black basalt, a stone born of fire. Every block here was once lava, once boiling. Now they stand motionless, looking out over the Sea of Galilee. A journey through Jordan reveals that this is not just a country of ancient relics. It is a living chronicle, written in stone, sand, and light. Every ruin tells a story of resilience. Every valley breathes the rhythm of time. Jordan is not just seen, it is felt. We come like whispers and disappear like wind. But the land remains, patient, silent, eternal. Reminding us that time belongs more to stone than to man.